Good day, ladles and jelly spoons, and welcome to this map of Overgrowth Ladder Edition, where we will be watching a PvP between PWT's Charada and the top right hand side, our hero and replay submitter, it's NG2's Khaldrogo, or Khaldrogo potentially, but it's meant to look like Khaldrogo, so let's assume that's what it says. And in the top right hand side we're seeing, actually this is one of those matchups where, again, I think we run into the sort of the rock, paper, scissors effect. The three sort of standard openers I believe that there are Stargate, Twilight and Robo. And as far as I'm aware, Twilight beats Stargate, Stargate beats Robo, and Robo beats Twilight. In terms of Immortals beating Blinkstalkers, Blinkstalkers beating anything in the air really, and air units beating Immortals. Because it turns out Immortals can't shoot up, even though, if you watch the dance animation, they point their guns high. Apparently my sound is faster than my camera. Okay, we'll try and do something to fix that. Really good I don't have the camera in game. Thank you for letting me know about the camera, by the way. I will try and fix. So, very standard start, although gas up for Khaldrogo. I imagine we might end up seeing some blink play because we did in the last game. I think it's just the webcam. I know I had problems with this webcam before, but we'll worry about that later. I will try and fix. For now, though, we will see what happens if we do the following. With gas coming up, there's also gas coming up on the other side, but it does appear that Khaldrogo is going to get the gas lead, at least early on. Because the gases are going to finish. His second gas is going to finish about the same time as both of his opponents. 2 and 2 by the looks of it. Yes, it is. So to me that says, I think, Stargate. Again, I'm willing to be wrong, and I'm willing to know. I'm willing for people in the chat to tell me how I fixed that knowledge. But yeah, the reason that the sound is a little faster is the webcam is a little slow. We'll try and fix that in the future. I'm going to assume it's the webcam because I noticed that yesterday. But incoming Scouterino, getting chased away a little bit. Stalker's on the way soon. Warp Gate is actually going to come up faster for Khaldrogo, which might not make much of a difference, but might make all the difference. And Charada going for a little bit of worker harassment, but nothing, not getting an awful lot done there. Stalker out versus Sentry from Charada. Actually, that's an interesting thing to start with. That implies serious defensiveness, because you can just wall in yourself for a little while. Oh, the guy he beat in this game is streaming at the moment. Please don't go watch him. I'm enjoying having an audience. Sure. Let's see. Okay, we've got Robo for Khaldrogo versus no tech commitment from Charada yet. I don't know what that means. I mean, obviously we're seeing a bunch of Sentry and Stalker. Yeah. I'm wondering what the purpose of the Sentries is. I don't actually know of any particular reason. I don't know, actually. Oh well. Both players taking down the bricks. Because, yeah, eat it, bricks. A bit of scouting harassment. I say harassment, just sort of like scouting, really. And Khaldrogo's like, no, stop that, go away. But, again, there's no real tech from our red Protoss player, and I'm wondering why that is. No tech commitment to Robo. The problem is, there's already Immortals coming out for Khaldrogo. I feel like the gateway count is not worth the disadvantage. Flana's asking if I just find things to talk about. Generally speaking, I'll just talk. Words will come out. Hallucinated Phoenix coming over, and the more that happens in the game, obviously if there's nothing happening in the game, I can just usually talk about random stuff, and I can usually come up with enough random stuff. It's one of the skills that I have, is I can talk bullshit about anything for hours at a stretch. But the Hallucinated Phoenix has now scouted everything up to and including the fact that Khaldrogo is actually expanding, and yeah, it turns out they both are. The only disadvantage I think that has happened here is that, yeah, the Robo for Khaldrogo was up significantly earlier. Robo in theory counters blink play, it depends how you do it. It is potentially quite good at it because the Immortals come out and basically do 50 damage a shot unupgraded to Stalkers, which 3-shots them pretty much regardless of upgrades, I think. But, oh no, it doesn't quite 3-shot them, it 4-shots them to start with. If they have upgrades, then yeah, I think it 3-shots them. Because they do 50 damage, so yeah, it's 4-shotting a Stalker. But it does mean that if anything else is there shooting at the same Stalker, then yeah, it 3-shots them. So they are a pretty good unit. What? Oh, the hallucinated Phoenix is gonna die, and no one cares. Tech coming out as a Forge for +1, but the problem is again, oh no, Khaldrogo's getting a +1 as well, or getting a Forge at least. They're getting it more delayed, so the question will come out, which is going to be worth more, the Immortal Count or the Immortal Upgrades? That said, Charada's getting more, and Khaldrogo's getting a Warp Prism for some serious drop harass. The problem is, where would you send it in? And what would you send it in with? Because Zealots can come in and do some damage, but the problem is there's an army here. And yes, they can't be force-fielded out that way, that's brilliant. But that might be a thing to force a force field, if you can. Problem is, you know, unless you go right in this corner, that area is sort of covered, sort of. Well, I guess we'll see. It looks like it's going to go in the left of the fight. That is traditionally, I think, where the Warp Prism is supposed to go in. Question is, how far out does this thing see? They've broken through. That was a hallucinated Phoenix if ever I saw one. And Colossus Tech coming down to Khaldrogo. Oh, hallucinated Phoenix. And now the Warp Prism goes in, and depending on what happens here, Khaldrogo could either do a lot of damage or absolutely nothing at all. And for some reason he pulls it back. Oh, right, wanting to put some Zealots in it before he attacks. A bit of a push at the front as well, because it turns out drawing your opponent's army out of position, especially when you have a slight advantage, not a massive one, but it's enough to make a difference. Oh, and another hallucinated Phoenix sees the push. Question is, what's going to happen now? Oh, the army's pulling down to the front. The Zealots, potentially 4 Zealots going to warp in there. 4th one should be useful. It's actually worth waiting for, especially because the army isn't in position to go yet. But Khaldrogo potentially going to do quite a lot of damage here. Just because of the fact that there's going to be an attack on 2 fronts. And if he can push at this attack and then retreat, then the Zealots he's dropping in the mineral line right now will cripple something. And if the army pulls back to defend that, that's brilliant. You absolutely pull back to do that. I'm just going to take on your natural. Oh, but no, it looks like Charada's all cool with that. The thing is, Khaldrogo is getting worker kills while this is happening, so... I don't know. I don't know, Kev. I don't know. I don't know if this is worth, actually. The worker's going out. He sees the Colossus Tech researching for Charada. And both of them have Thermal Lance on the way. It just so happens that Khaldrogo has it more. And Khaldrogo is actually behind in workers, which is not a position he wants to be in. He's going to need to take some decent engagements later on. Night Warrior saying, Blink is for map control. The thing is, you can count the ramp with sentries and contain him while you expand with Blink. This was bad by me, he says. Okay. There's a couple of Stalkers here in case the Warp Prism decides to come back, because it's actually quite badly injured. It's only got 140 hit points, which means these things, which do actually better than that. I think this qualifies as armoured. I don't know. I can't tell because it's got units in it. Never mind. But third base coming up for Khaldrogo. And it is Khaldrogo. Just realised the capitalisation says Khaldrogo up there, because this overlay automatically capitalises things for the winning. Hallucinated Phoenixes, by the way, I love the use of Hallucinated Phoenixes in this. It literally costs you energy on a sentry and shows you everything your opponent is doing. Up to and including the Colossus Tech, which if he scopes it at the right time, you'll realise that it is just finishing now. Which means that the Colossus for his opponent ahead. Not to mention the +2 upgrade is going to be first. So, again, Khaldrogo's in a decent position when it comes to the first massive encounter. The only real disadvantage I think Khaldrogo has at this point is the fact that his opponent has actually the same amount of Colossus. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Double robo production from both players, because it turns out that laser beams are awesome. Laser beams are pretty cool. I'm not going to lie to you. Laser beams are pretty nice. But yeah, I like the idea of using... Oh, Charada's got a little observer tagged onto this thing. It'd be nice to see observer speed, but I really don't think we will, because no one gets observer speed anymore. Now Khaldrogo's behind. He's actually sizably behind. He's behind him army, but not in work. Actually, no, but also in workers. The only thing he's up in is base, biscuit, base. The problem is he doesn't necessarily have the workers to, you know, fully sat that. Actually, strangely enough, he's actually not saturated on his natural. It's weird. But hey, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. And Charada has the map vision. And I love this position. Just leave it in the bushes. Can't even be seen. The observer sees this warp prism moving in and is all like, sup? But the upgrades are better for Charada. +3 is on the way already. I think Stalkers should be able to blip that thing down fairly quickly. But now, Khaldrogo has decided to move out and potentially threaten this third base. The thing is, if the third base can be contained, if the third base can be held back, then Khaldrogo's in a good place. He needs to stop mining on this base as soon as possible and for as long as possible. The problem is, Defender's Advantage means that Charada's actually in a good position to withstand this. There's enough energy on this mothership core for 2 photon overcharges, which means that pushing into it is going to be costly. So basically what Khaldrogo I think has to do here is kill the base really fast and then just get out. If he's going to do it at all, I think he's going to run away. But charge coming up. +3 is on the way and getting chrono boosted out. But again, Charada I think has been chrono boosting a little bit more and will have it sooner. The armor upgrade is going to be finished sooner. Again, like little advantages, Khaldrogo is slipping slightly behind. It's not massive, and again, one good engagement could change everything, but it's going to have to be a beastly engagement. Stargate coming up for potential Tempest action, because it turns out having Tempest out means that you can do horrifying damage to massive air units. Which I like. I like a lot. So, 4th base coming up. And again, Khaldrogo trying to come up with advantages to have. Has the worker lead now, which is something, I guess, and has the advantage on getting the 4th base up, except this one's going out here to put a pylon down. Presumably a spotting pylon before the 4th base is made. Just to give him that little extra second or 2 or 3 to respond to anything that comes down that alleyway. But no base coming down. I'm actually quite surprised. That would have been a good time to put it, but never mind. Charada now almost maxed. Khaldrogo needs to pick the units carefully. And again, that beautiful scouting tells Charada precisely what they need to know. There's a 4th base up, and the army's nowhere near it. Because the army just got spotted by this hallucinated phoenix. Very nice, very nice. Tempest, by the way, for Khaldrogo, which actually, yeah, this is the thing I think is going to turn the engagement, because there's a bunch of Colossus on this side. In fact, there's 9 Colossus. The thing is, Tempests, as it stands, do 80 damage to massive air. Which basically means that the 350 hit points gets 5-shot by Tempests. 5-shotting by Tempests is a bad way to be. But the thing is, I really don't know that Charada can respond to this. There is nothing that Charada can do really to respond to this, because there's no supply free. Which basically means either Charada kills some of their own units, or Charada loses a lot to the Tempest, because you can't really do anything about it yet. I wonder how much damage they get per plus. I mean, the Tempests have 80 damage to massive air. What does that go up to when they get +1? We'll find out in a minute. But this stage, actually, yeah, I like the Tempest building. The Tempests are really quite good, and yet, there you see it. +1 is nearly finished. +1's finished. They have 30. They have 85 versus. So that actually might be down enough to 85, 170. Yeah, that's enough to 3-shot them now. 80, 170. Oh no, it's enough to 4-shot them, I think. Is it? 85, 170, 340. No, it's not actually. It's not. They need +2. They need +2 in order to 4-shot them. I think it's still 5-shotting, but only just. The thing is, this army is posturing around the map, and what do you do against Tempest, man? What do you do? Hallucinated Phoenix plus just getting within the huge radius of these units. It's absolutely brutal range. I think, what's the range on that attack? The range on the attack is 15, which I think is the second largest range in the game. Possibly the largest? I forget now. Something I can look up for next time. But at this stage, Khaldrogo is pushing across the map in an "I'm coming to kill you" sort of, with an "I'm coming to kill you" sort of vibe. And the Archons are going to have to soak a lot of fire. The problem is, they can be shot at such range, but again by the Tempests, and that's the thing. Like, the Zealots up front are tanking a lot of damage, but oh, the Archons are getting trapped in a corner, and if they keep getting picked up like that, at the same time, the battle for the center ground is basically coming in favor of Charada. The only real advantage that Khaldrogo has here is the Tempests, which are going to kill off these Colossi really, really fast. It's basically going to have to be, Khaldrogo's going to have to use the Colossus to kill off the Archons, and the Tempests to kill off the other Colossus. And then he's going to take this fight, but it's going to be a little closer than he might have liked. Took a lot of damage, but Charada GG's, and that's that. That was a really nice fight there. The Tempest made literally all the difference. Having enough Tempests out to one-shot a Colossus is so, so useful. Ooh, so nice. So thank you very much for Khaldrogo for submitting that. That's Master League play there, by the way. I believe both players are Master League because it was a ladder game. I didn't say it at the beginning. Probably should have done. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next